Hello, this is Jason with BDI, and I'm going to show you how to upgrade from any previous version of STS-LIVE to STS-LIVE version 1.4. Now in my case, I'm running STS-LIVE version 1.3.2, and I'm going to upgrade to version 1.4. So to do this, I'm going to open up a file browser, and I'm going to navigate to my installer for 1.4. So in this case, I'm going to have a folder that has STS-LIVE 1.4, and I'm going to click on the setup.exe. It's going to ask if it's okay to run. I'm going to click yes. Now I'm going to have to click next here. It's best not to change the directories that these install into. Just let it install into the default directories there. You have to agree to a license agreement. Then click next. I'm going to click next again. And now STS-LIVE is going to install the latest version. If this warning pops up, cannot remove the STS-LIVE shortcut, we'll just hit OK. And then I will click next to finish the installation. So now we've got the post installer, or the STS-LIVE configuration program, and this will allow us to set up the configuration for STS-LIVE. Now this is the same as with STS-LIVE 1.3.2 with an added feature of now it's got a help button. So if you do have any questions about the settings for STS-LIVE within the configuration program, you can open up the help, and then you can click on the field that you have any questions about, and it'll bring up that help topic over here in the help window. So to close that, you just click the question mark again, and from here you can go and set up your system memory, your IP settings, and your sensor data. One thing to notice between STS-LIVE 1.3.2 and 1.4, the way that you import calibration files is slightly different. What you do is you click on the folder here, and then you navigate to your calibration file that you want to import. So I'm going to import this BDI office.cal file, so I click that. I click OK, and when this file is recognized as a valid calibration file, I will get a import sensor file button. So to import it, I click on that button, and that allowed me to import that sensor file into STS-LIVE. After I finish that, if I'd like to, I can go in and edit my sensor file. I'm not going to go through this at this moment. I'm going to make a separate video about how to update your sensor file. So for now, I'll close this window, and I'm also going to exit out of the STS-LIVE configuration program. I'm going to close this window. And here was that link that for some reason it wasn't able to delete off of there for this install, but I can just throw that in the trash. And then my newest version of STS-LIVE will be right here. So I'm going to click that and open it up. So you can see this is STS-LIVE 1.4. And here is the Start tab of STS-LIVE. There's nothing connected right now, but this is the fresh install, and it's up and running. And what I'm going to do is connect nodes, just to walk through what's going to happen when you connect nodes for the first time. Okay, so as you see, when nodes begin to check in, you're going to get a firmware warning window. Now this is perfectly normal. The reason this happens is that in order to run with STS-LIVE 1.4, we need to upgrade the firmware on all the nodes. So this is an automated process, and the way to start this process is to click this Update Nodes button. So just to note before I do that, there's two different kinds of nodes here. So there's two 4-channel nodes that have firmware version 3.15 and one 16-channel node that has a firmware version 4.09. So I'm going to click on the Update Nodes button, and another window will pop up. And what this is going to do is actually put the firmware on there. You'll see a progress bar as it goes to the nodes. So what it did was it updated those two 4-channel nodes from 3.15 to 3.17 is what's getting put on there now. But you don't have to tell it what to put on there. You only have to click this Update Nodes button. So those 4-channel nodes have been updated. So now we just have the 16-channel node. I'm going to click Update Nodes again. And it's going to update that 16-channel node. So it's really important that while this process is taking place, you don't try to close this window or close out of live. This process needs to complete in order for everything to work correctly. And when the process has completed, you'll get a green check indicator in the bottom corner. And it also indicates that STS-LIVE has finished updating all the nodes and it's okay to close this window. So once you get to this screen here, just hit the green check and you'll be ready to go with STS-LIVE. So now all the nodes have the latest version of firmware on them. To see what version of firmware is running on a node, you can click on the node, and in this field here, it'll indicate that this has version 3.17, as indicated by this 0317, and the 16-channel node, it has 4.11, which is indicated by 0411. You might notice that there was a couple warnings that popped up when that happened. So you will get warnings that indicate that the firmware is not compatible with the current STS-LIVE version, and that happens right as you get that firmware warning window. Now this is just a warning, it's not an error. So what we can do is click the blinking trash can icon and throw out those warnings so they're not sitting there bothering us while we're running tests. So this is the new version of STS-LIVE. It's version 1.4. One of the main differences you might notice between version 1.3.2 and 1.4 is that the Start Test button has changed a little bit. It's a little bit bigger, and the Preview button has changed a little bit more as well. So the Preview button is now this icon here, and to start a data recording test, it's the green Start button right here. So I've got a couple nodes that are checked in right now, and these nodes have some sensors associated with them, as I can see over in the plot window. So I'm just going to start a quick test here to make sure that everything is up and running. So it looks like everything is up and running well. I'm just going to stop that test. And that is how to upgrade STS-LIVE from any previous version to STS-LIVE 1.4.